Can you open a chart and just simply trade? Do you know how to just look at a chart, know which way the price is going, and just take that trade? Because if you don't, then you should come into the office with me here today, because I'm going to show you how you can look at a chart and just simply predict which way the market's going to go without all the indicators, without all the complicated BS, and out all the rubbish and all the courses that go with it. As you know, I haven't got a course for you. I don't produce a course. I just put these videos out showing you how to keep it simple. And why do I do that? Because I'm so tired of people saying that you can take $100 and turn it into $1 million in a week, because it's absolute rubbish. Nobody can do that. I've never seen anyone do that for real, unless they're extremely lucky. Let's put it to you this way, guys. For you to take even $1,000 and turn it into $1 million, you can do it with 10 straight trades. You can do it, but you have to win every single trade. And the problem you've got in the stock market is the stock market is a 50-50 game. Forex, stocks, futures, CFDs, doesn't matter what you're trading. It's a 50-50 game. 50% of the time when you take a trade, it could win. And 50% of the time when you take a trade, it could lose. And I hammer on this to you guys every single video. I tell you, guys, the market's a 50-50 game. 80% of traders lose money. Trading is risk, and you could lose money. If you don't like losing money, you most likely probably shouldn't be trading. I tell you every single video that this is how the stock market works. Guys, go down to the description, get your free Forex book that I've got for you there. It's about trends and that sort of thing. It's a free PDF. While you're there, visit the blog. Free trade idea that I put out for you every single day. Just remember, it's not trading advice, it's just an idea. I'm not here to give you trading advice or to give you tips every day or tell you which trade to take, or I'm not one of those guys that sit here showing you how much my portfolio made and how I did this trade and how I did that trade. Do you realize, guys, that if you follow those traders, some of them have got Discord channels, some of them have got I don't know what, and it's all live, and yeah, trade this with me and trade, and follow me and trade this and follow me and trade that. If you're a trader and you're in the market, especially the Forex market, which is pretty fast, and if you're on a pretty fast time frame, you'll agree with me that you don't have the time to catch up on a trade that I took. If I take a trade now and I put it out there on YouTube and I say these are the trades I'm taking, or on my Discord channel, whatever the case, then you say, ooh, Rob took that trade, perhaps I should take that trade as well. You taking the trade too late, because I've already taken the trade. I'm way ahead of you. I've spotted the trade, I've taken the trade. Then you're still going to look at it and think, should I take that trade as well? And in that time it's moving. By the time you take the trade, I'm probably selling it. You get that? You get where I'm going with this? You dig? This is the problem. The problem is I've probably sold the trade already by the time you start taking it. So stop trying to follow other people's trades, follow other people's discords, follow other people's system. Well, you can follow their system, obviously, but you've got to start thinking for yourself. You've got to start working this out for yourself. Now, the trade of the day idea that I put out on the Forex, on my secret blog, whether it be on Forex, on the stock market, or whatever it might be, on an equity, is very much a swing trade rather than a day trade. So it's very much a bigger macro picture on that product. What I'm putting out there for you is an idea. So you can look at it and say, well, I could take this trade and I might make money on this trade over the next few hours, the next day, or the next 2 days. And you've got time to get into that trade. And I normally allow enough gap for the price, because it's on a 4-hour chart usually, or a 1-hour chart depending. I allow time for that gap to get up and reach a point where you could get into the trade. It's not like these ones that you're trying to follow on the market and you're trying to get into the trade after the guy's already got into the trade. I don't want to mention names and I don't want to bring anybody down, because they're all really good traders and they all know what they're doing, but they're doing it for themselves. They're not doing it for you. At the end of the day, we're selfish bastards, traders are. You know, we try and keep everything for ourselves. Perhaps I've been doing this so long that I just want everybody to understand that it's not as simple as everybody's making it out to be. It's not as straightforward as everybody's making it out to be. Everybody out there saying, go out there and trade and you'll make $1 million. And it's just not quite that way. And that's just not how it works. Guys, let's go and have a look at the charting, and let's go and see if this charting and how you can look at a chart and simply pick up in depth how you can take a trade the right way or the wrong way. So the predicted price action without using indicators. Now, I don't use indicators. I have put these lines in here. You don't have to. And how do you trade without even putting this sort of thing in? So let me remove everything. Remove all the drawings. And you're on the 4-hour chart and you've got a chart here. What's the first thing you see, guys? The first thing you see is that this is the Great British Pound US dollar, by the way. You see that it's gone all the way up, down, up, down, up. And then it's reached a point where it's kind of said, look, I'm kind of tired here. This is my resistance area. And then it's broken down and it's gone into a bearish phase. Now, this is clearly broken its support area and it's become bearish. And you've got a clear bearish trend going down here. Do you need to draw these lines in to determine that this is in a bearish trend? Probably not. You can see it's in a bearish trend. Now, what I do is I look at the picture. I can see that that's where the resistance now is. It's clearly obvious that there's a resistance pattern in here and there's a big red bar coming down here. So what do you think I'm going to do next? When that bar closes on this time frame, this 4-hour time frame, and like I've said to you before, the reason I use these time frames is so that it gives you time to understand the trading. I like to use these time frames so that I can show you guys how this works. But this works on absolutely any time frame. I'm not showing you to take a trade. That you can't follow people on taking a trade, particularly on the lower time frames, because like I've said before, once you follow me and I take the trade, by the time you take the trade, I'm probably getting out of the trade. So I show you on the longer time frames so that you can go down to my blog, you can get a trade idea on a swing trade. This trade will be available for most of the day, and you can take the trade and it'll probably pay out over the next day or two, maybe over a few hours, depending on whether we're on the 4-hour or 1 hour, whatever the case. But the 4 hours is a nice thing to trade on. It gives you a lot of relaxed time, a lot of time to think. And if you're starting out, the best thing you can do, guys, is take time to think. Start on the lower, the higher time frames. Give yourself more time to think, because if you start on the fast time frames, you're just going to confuse yourself and you're probably going to make a hell of a lot of mistakes. That said, here's the thing. So when that bar closes, we would take a short trade. And that's another thing I don't do, guys. I don't go back on the charts and sort of like try and rerun them and say, oh, it's going to go long there and then it goes short or whatever the case. Because in hindsight, we know what's going to happen next. We've seen the charts, so we know what's going to happen next. So let's not, if I ask you which way it's going to go here, that becomes more stressful because you don't know and I don't know which way that's going to go. We assume, because trading's a 50-50 game, we assume that this is going to go short because it's showing a red bar here, it's in a bearish trend, and it's most likely hitting resistance here. So we can look at the Great British Pound US dollar at this particular time and say, well, that's going to go short. By the time you guys watch this video, you'll be able to see whether that went short or whether it went long, because this is pre-recorded. You can go back and you can go and have a look at whether this went short or not and see if it worked. Interesting, eh? But I would wait for that to close. I couldn't possibly call it right now because it hasn't closed. But if it closes, and it closes with a big red bar, which it most likely will, then I will take a short here and go for the short trade down to this level down here, which is a support. So there's your resistance, there's your support, and it's clearly obvious. You don't need to draw all the pictures in. But if you want to, you can. You can draw them in and you can see them there. You can draw the other one further down and there you go. There's your picture. You can see it in there and you can trade in there. It's going to come down. You can draw your line in and you can see where you are. There's your trend. It's all there. So if you want to draw them in, you can draw them in. But it's perfectly obvious. It's perfectly clear that that's when you want to trade. Guys, if you want these charts, I'll leave a link in the description for you. It's actually a nice charting package, especially to show people how it works and that sort of thing. So yeah, if you want it, it's there. So anyway, yeah, that's basically how you look at a chart. And you can also look for patterns as well, like you would look for a head and shoulders. There isn't one here at the moment, or you would look for a flag pattern, or you might look for a cup and handle. Maybe that could be a cup and a handle, but it went the wrong way, so it's gone down, so it's no longer a cup and a handle. There's a head and shoulders that didn't play out. You must remember that if you see a shoulder, a head, a shoulder developing, that's not a head and shoulders. It hasn't developed. It needs to come down to its break line and then break through that neckline and then once it's broken through the neckline, then it becomes a confirmed head and shoulders. So what it did is it looked like a head and shoulders, but it didn't create it, and it went up, so it wasn't a head and shoulders. But look for patterns in the market. Patterns, like I've said to you in the last videos, patterns are fun to see, and they normally do sometimes play out, and they can show you which way to take your trade. So continue watching the video, guys, so that you can see a little bit more about predicting the price action, how your emotions play into it, and your stress levels. So that's the charting. Now you know that's how you take a trade, or that's how you can figure out a trade, and why I trade this way, and why I manage my losses this way, and why it's so important to take your trades on this basis, because this is what will make you successful. It will make you either a break-even trader, or at least you'll become profitable. I know a lot of you out there are not profitable yet, but I had a couple of fantastic comments from guys who've said they've become profitable, and I think at some stage or another we'll have to start some kind of system pointing out who's become profitable over the last period because of using a simple system like this. The next video I'm going to put out is going to be super interesting. Don't miss it. And thanks for watching this one, by the way. Don't forget to watch the last videos. Till next one. Cheers, thanks, and bye.